Namaste, namaskaram, vanakkam, namo namaha, jai Ganesha. Please visit our website at classicalyoga.org, and there is a donate button if you would like to help us out. And please stand up for the Hindu yoga, religious, spiritual, scientific, philosophical lifestyle. And those of you that are not Hindus and are here to gain some information, well, welcome. And we always try to respect the things of life in general, but also respect the specifics. So obviously we're coming from the specifics of the Hindu yoga Dharma, Hinduism, the Hindu religion. So today's podcast, 4 necessary life skills. You can visit our podcast on the 4 bodies. And logically, we all recognize that we have a physical body, a mind with its emotions. So we could look at that as 3 bodies: physical, mental, and emotional. Now, obviously, people in the religious venue of life, and certainly in the Hindu yoga religion, Hindu Dharma, we add the 4th element, which is in general the soul, but remember specifically Hindus refer to this as the Atmana, whereas soul comes from psyche, so it's not the body, so no body can be spiritual. That debunks that cliche. But the soul is still connected in the Greek to the Greek psyche, which means the mind. Hence you get the soulful psychiatrist, supposedly. So, but in the Hindu yoga Dharma, we use the word Atmana because, yes, it's not the body, but it's not the mind either with its emotions. You can visit our many other podcasts to discover more about what the Hindus call the Atmana, what it consists of, and how we go about realizing it, which is really part of today's podcast, because when we look at all 4 bodies, assuming we have this inner essence, again, which we Hindus call the Atmana, doesn't it make a lot of sense that in order to get through this life in a fairly coherent way, rational way, joyful way, if you will, that we recognize at least the 3 bodies, and we'll add the 4th, obviously. And in other words, try to develop some basic life skills. So, number 1, we have a physical body, so wouldn't it behoove us to find something that we are really interested concerning the physical body, something we can do on a regular basis? And ritual routine, that's life itself. It's interesting that when people often criticize religious ritual, that's just one aspect of life. In every other area of life, we all have rituals, my goodness, from the time we get up in the morning till the time we go to bed at night. It's part of life itself. Look at our animals. I mean, they're very keen on rituals, right? They understand timing sometimes better than we do. So, find something physically that really you can do on a daily basis, whatever it is. If it's simply taking a morning walk, a daily walk. Now again, at the outset, let's recognize that obviously we have to have great compassion for those that are going through a life of real physical disability and mental and emotional disability. And we have to really recognize that. But again, we do the best we can with, quote unquote, the cards we've been dealt in this life. So why not find something physical that you can do? Exercise, maybe dancing. Maybe there's something in a specific area of exercise that you like to do every day. Maybe a game that you like to play physically every day. And then also, why not do something on the mental plane that requires some concentration, some study? And obviously, this is why we all go to school. But sometimes when school is over, this can become an area where we become quite lax. So find something that stimulates you intellectually. And then obviously, emotionally, why not find something that you can do that deals with your emotional nature? Music, again, dance, maybe some different art form that you do. So this will help you to live a rather confident life, a successful life, a life of satisfaction. And remember, we don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket. If we, for example, just focus on our physical body, what happens when we get hurt, which is almost inevitable? Then what do we do? So you see, there's a great benefit in cultivating these three bodies, physical, mental, and emotional, just in and of itself. But again, if we're hurt physically, then we can always fall back, if you will, on our mental pursuits and or our emotional pursuits. But then what happens if we're going through a real difficult time physically and also a mental and emotional deep funk, if you will? Here's where the fourth body can come into play. This inner essence, which Hindus call the Atmana, the soul body to others. And again, we define it, and briefly we'll just say that it's the inner essence of love and light and energy. And this is where this can really come into play, especially when the body, mind, and emotions are going through some deep troubles. But also one finds that incorporating this into their daily activities, hopefully when the body, mind, and emotions are in sync and feeling good, really makes a complete, wholesome journey on a daily basis. Now, it is interesting to observe that in religious life in general, obviously there's a deep focus on the inner spirit, if you will, spirit beings. Certainly on the emotions too, and the mental as one studies and prays and perhaps sings and gets wrapped up in the religious fervor and devotional fervor. But often the quote-unquote Western religions, or typically the monotheistic religions, they don't have a strong emphasis on the physical body, and maybe even some abhor the physical body. But here's where in the Hindu yoga, Dharma, Hinduism, the Hindu religion, we really work with all four bodies. So obviously we have all of our meditative practices, contemplation. This is Raja Yoga, which leads to the realization of our Atmana, this inner essence. We use the emotional nature with song and dance, great recitation of mantras, intellectual nature, studying these mantras, feeling the effects of them. The many, many scriptures. Remember, Hinduism doesn't have just one scripture. We have a multitude of scriptures to tantalize, if you will, the intellect. But we also have something for the physical body. We have the dance, obviously, but we have the sacred Hatha Yoga, which works with the physical body. So we use all four, but remember, sadly, and this is the one that was never supposed to be on display. And it's interesting that around the world today, so many people are familiar with yoga, which is really a total distortion of what it truly is. Number one, the Sanskrit Hindu word yoga doesn't have anything to do with the physical body to begin with. It's in essence about yoking to the Atmana, this inner essence, and then Brahman, this greater source, which is not God, please. We don't use that in the Hindu Dharma. And this Hatha Yoga was never meant for display, but because obviously many people coming from a Christian, Judeo-Christian background, maybe Islamic background, they don't have anything for the physical body, so they needed something, so they borrowed, quote-unquote, actually stole from Hinduism. Because remember, the Hatha Yoga, as all the yogas, are all about the Hindu religion, and true to any other religion, these are taught by qualified members of the religion, anybody that wants to learn, but obviously, one would never be a teacher or presume that of any of the religions of the world until they first became a part of that religion, a fully committed member of that religion. So why not try to find things to do to take care of all four of your bodies? And obviously, in helping others, we avoid an excessive narcissism, if you will. So we can do things for others physically, mentally, emotionally, and obviously this is something that religions also do. They also share with others, give to others, acts of charity. So find four things in life that you can do that take care of these four bodies, and you'll live a fairly happy life. And again, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Be a Renaissance man or a woman, right? Have a sense of completeness in your body, mind, emotions, and soul. So some people have asked, well, what do you do, Swami? So I don't like to get too personal in these podcasts because, again, that is a huge problem in religion in general. I like to call them the deadly 3 Ps: picture, personality, and price tag. That's okay if you're going to be in the entertainment industry, or, if you're a realtor, you have your picture out there in your bio. But when it comes to religion, I mean, that should be on the back burner. It should be about people practicing principles. But personally, physically, I like to take a daily walk. I like to exercise, do some kind of strengthening exercises, do some hatha yoga. And personally, I also do Tai Chi every day. I learned that 50 years ago from a Taoist master. But here again, this is important. I've never attempted to teach anybody because I'm not a Taoist. I never fully committed to the Taoist religion. Therefore, I cannot teach that, not ethically and honestly. And it would be an insult to my teacher, who was a Taoist. This is important when it comes to yoga. Remember, people can study anything they want, but don't ever attempt to teach religious spiritual disciplines until you're a member of that religion or you're doing something totally dishonest. So that's my physical routine. And obviously try to have a good diet and proper sleep. Avoid unhealthy substances, for example. And then mentally, I love studying every day, reading something. Obviously doing these podcasts. Studying our many scriptures, and not just Hinduism. I like to study current events, etc. Why not? We need to know what's going on in the world. When we were yogis, and this is what one is before they become a Swami. When we're yogis, and we don't bother with any of that. We're living a reclusive life. We don't mix with the external world. We don't read anything. I mean, because there's years of my life that I don't even know what went on. So this is important. Remember, don't run around calling yourself yogis and yoginis when you have no clue what that austere life is, aesthetic life is all about. And then on the emotional body, love to play music, play the harmonium, sing, enjoy the many, many mantras of Hinduism. It's very emotionally stirring, along with coupling it with the devotions, the religious devotions, taking care of the external nature of the Atmana by doing puja, daily puja, lighting diya, doing the chants, the mantras every day. And chanting is so powerful for anybody in general, but Hindus, for this is what we call mantra yoga. Again, that word is mantra is totally connected with Hinduism. Those are Hindu devotional chants. These chants really help to calm the mind and redirect it into the Atmana, because that is, for Hindus, our goal now, to realize the Atmana. That's why we say Atma Darshana Paramo Dharma. So every day also spend time in silent inner reflection on the qualities of that Atmana, the love, light, and energy. And then also, it's wise to try and spend a few moments not thinking. Because remember, that's truly the meaning of Atmana, not your mind. So literally going into the experience of no thought at all, which if you can hold that for a few moments, you're lucky. Or you're fortunate. It becomes a practice then to hold a few moments of no thingness, the Atmana. So literally, we can have fun with this. The goal for Hindus is to go out of their mind. And remember, we can choose to do that in an ethical way, in a deep, philosophical, experiential, soulful way, mystical way. Or we can go out of our mind in all kinds of crazy things that we humans do. The choice is up to us. Take care of your 4 bodies. Do the best you can with whatever your situation. Again, great compassion and love to all those that are going through severe physical, mental, emotional disabilities. But do what you can. And this will help you to achieve an inner state of equilibrium and balance. Your inner direction. We always begin and end our satsangs with our GPS, which we use as an acronym for gratitude, persistence, and sacrifice. If you want to feel a solid inner connection, that you really have direction in life, use these 3 things: gratitude, persistence, and sacrifice, which are manifested by saying thank you, gratitude. Persistence, I can do this. That's your warrior spirit. And your sacrifice, which means sacred doing, is helping others. So a very simple discipline that everybody can do. First thing in the morning, just say thank you. Reflect on the day ahead. I can do this. Who can I help? 3 simple things. Thank you. I can do this. Who can I help? And then at night, pause a moment before you drift off into the mystical beauty of sleep. And just say to yourself, did I say thank you to anybody today? Did I accomplish my tasks? Did I fail? Okay, I'll try harder tomorrow. Did I wimp out? No, I'll be more courageous tomorrow. And did I help anybody today? For think about it, when we don't recognize our 4 bodies, when we really lose our inner way, we tend not to say thank you to anybody. We tend to give up easily. And we tend not to help anybody, becoming totally narcissistic. So find your inner compass and have a wonderful day. Om Namaste.